Hello, everyone. Welcome to Yin Yoga. Please have a pillow or two pillows. The more props you have, the more options you have to get comfortable in these poses. A blanket or a beach towel, a couple of yoga blocks if you have that around, and a strap. Let's just start in a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you, whether crossing your legs or splaying them apart or sitting on your calves with your knees close together. And with that, let's enter some movement here. You may like to begin by circling your spine, maybe by you, really just using organic movements that you create to check in with how you're feeling in your physical body, your mental, emotional body, and energetically. Tuning into the quality of your breathing. A few more breaths of just exploring free movement here. And as you're ready to settle into stillness for a moment, you may like to bring the left hand on the middle of your chest and your right hand on your lower belly, or just place your hands on your lap, whatever allows you to settle in and ground. So all throughout this week, we've been exploring different ideas about the third limb of yoga, which is the physical postures, the physical practice. And they're called asanas in Sanskrit. The whole physical practice, as well as the breath practice, which is actually the fourth limb of yoga, compose what's often called hatha yoga. And from hatha yoga branched many of modern yoga styles like vinyasa flow, iyengar, power yoga, all those Bikram yoga, all those styles have come out of hatha yoga, the physical practice. So literally hatha in Sanskrit is often translated as force or power, but this word hatha is actually made up of two components, two words, ha, which means solar energy, fire, active, yang, if you think of yin yang. And tha means moon energy, associated with passive, receptive energy, rest, yin, in that polarity of yin yang. And so hatha is much about finding the balance by integrating both energies, finding how much fire and action to put, balance with a sense of surrender, a sense of relaxing into the pose in order to find that equilibrium that brings you into that asana, that steady and comfortable seat we defined in the Yoga Sutras a few chapters ago. In another text, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, yoga asanas are meant to activate the energy centers in our bodies, help increase the flow of prana, which is another name for life force, vital energy throughout the different channels. There are many, many channels. We talk about the chakras sometimes, the 7 main energy centers that sit from the base of the spine to the top of the head. But there's actually many. And if you think of Chinese medicine, it talks about meridians, all different names for similar things. So the different poses, as we balance yin and yang in our approach to getting into the pose and our way of finding how deep to go into the pose, depending on our current physical conditioning, then And we help to increase energy flow through those various nadis, chakras. And each pose meant to open certain.
Getting pretty staticky.
Oh no. Okay, let me just take a channel test here. Thank you for letting me know. I have a new mic here, so let me pause the recording. All right, so I think we're on a better channel. So let's get into these physical poses as you feel into how they might be opening energy flow within you, within your body. I'm going to start with some breath work here. If you're crossing your legs, you might switch the cross of the leg that's forward or on top, just to even out the stretch in your hips you're already getting. As you let your hands settle in wherever is calming and grounding for you, chest and belly or your lap. If it's comfortable, turn your gaze inward. Take a deep inhalation through your nose. Letting any sound come out, open your mouth. Ha. Again, inhale a little bit slower. Feel the breath filling up your physical body. Again, any sound, vocalize the breath. Ha. One more like that. Inhale. Maybe a different kind of sound. Let it go. Now starting Samavriti Pranayama. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Ease into sustaining your breath now, if you can, with just the mouth closed, so you're breathing in and out through your nose, filling up your belly, your lungs, so that all 4 walls of your rib cage gently expand as you inhale. The collarbones broaden. And then as you exhale, just as slowly, feel your belly soften inward towards your spine. Even it out, in and out. See if you can create a gentle whisper, if you're not already, by softly narrowing your throat. Engaging your mind in that subtle sound to help focus it. So continuing with this Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breathing. Softly open your eyes. And we're going to come down to lie on your stomach, setting aside any props. And we're going to begin with a movement to help open up the shoulders, the spine, the upper middle back. So start lying face down, legs straight behind you, toes pointed back. And then open your arms wide like a T, so the palms are face down. Your wrists are about in line with your shoulders. Take a deep inhale. And now as you exhale, begin to roll over to your left hip Stepping your right foot behind your left calf, backstroke your right arm. Perhaps it taps the left hand, maybe it doesn't. And then continue that circle of the right arm and come back as you inhale to center. Both arms open, landing face down, switch sides. Exhale, step the left foot behind you, roll onto your right hip, backstroke your left arm. Make a complete circle with your left arm, opening the shoulder joint. Inhale, come back to center, face down. Let's take a few more. Exhale, roll to the left hip, backstroke the right arm. Inhale, gently roll to center, face down. Exhale, roll onto your right hip, backstroke the left arm. Really sustaining your breath here. Inhale, center. Exhale, roll left, backstroke right arm. Inhale to belly. Exhale, right hip, backstroke left arm. Inhale to belly. Let's take one more movement on each side. Exhale, left hip, right arm. Inhale, center. Exhale, right hip, left arm. Inhale, center. As you arrive back at center, crawl your fingertips alongside your shoulders, but outside of your mat. So now your elbows are bent about 90 degrees, pointed out to your left and right walls. Separating your feet about hips width apart, keep pointing your toes. Feel every toenail pressing down, fan them out, fan out your toes on the mat. And then as you inhale, begin to peel your shoulder heads behind your ears, then slide your shoulder blades down your back, slowly lifting your chest, gently lifting your head. Look up, and then exhale, softly lower belly, chest, sternum, chin, forehead. Again, inhale, shoulder bones start by rolling back, then lifting your chest and head. Look up, draw your tailbone towards your heels, and exhale, softly melt belly, chest, forehead. 3 more rounds. Inhale, roll your shoulders back, broaden and lift your chest. Exhale, gently release to the earth. Inhale, softly rolling back, peeling your chest open. Exhale, melting down. Last one, inhale. Stay as you rise and look over one shoulder, rotate that shoulder further back and down. Inhale to center. Exhale, look over the other shoulder, rotate it back and down. Keep going, a few more. Inhale, center. Exhale, shoulder rolls back and down. Inhale and exhale. Keep going a few more times. Let your neck loosen here. Can you invite a yin quality to this action? Even though it's yang, it's movement, can you invite a sort of polar energy of receiving the movement? Let your skull receive the movement of your shoulders. Let your neck receive the movement of your torso. Massaging the breath in and out through your nose. Coming back through center as you lift your chest again. Take a wide breath through the chest. And exhale, lower all the way down. Lower your left ear to the floor here. Slide your left arm open to the left, palm face down. And this time, let's roll over to your left hip and stay for about 10 deep breaths. Now, your right foot could step behind your left leg if that's available for this longer hold. Or you could keep your 2 legs stacked. Your right hand could stay in front of you where you could see it. Or you could reach the right arm behind you. Maybe the hands come together. So as you're playing out and listening to your body respond to these different variations of the pose, can you find that sweet spot of balancing action and non-doing? The ha and the tha, hatha. Let's drink in 2 last breaths on this side. And as you're finishing the breath out, gently unwind back to your belly. Take a couple of breaths at center to pause and just tune into what's here. Do you feel a little more open on one side of your shoulders or neck? Does it feel that you've allowed some energy to flow, some life force to flow through the joints? And sliding your right arm out to the right, palm face down. You're going to press the ground away with your left hand, gently rolling over to your right hip. Feeling out how far to lean back as we hold it a little longer. About 10 breaths, 10 slow breaths. You might be stepping your left foot behind your right leg or stacking the left leg on top of the right. Left hand could be in front of you, pressing the floor away, or wrapping behind you. Maybe something different. Then send the right shoulder further down your back. Gift your right side of your neck some space. Settling in on the variation of this posture for a few more breaths. Do you feel a sense of equilibrium between those solar and lunar energies we talked about? One more deep breath here. At the end of your exhalation, gently roll back to center, pausing for a couple of breaths as you lie face down. Again, just observing any shift. Extending your arms overhead. Let your palms be about shoulders width apart, facing each other, and then rotate your triceps or outer upper arms towards the floor so that you can feel the tops of your shoulders broadening apart, your shoulder blades sliding a little wider apart. And then plug your upper arm bones back into your shoulder sockets. See if you can make a little more length in your neck, so that the palms begin to face slightly upwards, pinky fingers towards the floor. Begin to lift your right leg as you straighten it and point the toes. And then lifting the right leg, pull the right femur, the thigh bone, a little further out of the hip socket, and then place the right leg back down. It's like you made your right leg a little bit longer than the left. Now lift your left leg, straighten it, point the toes, pull the femur gently out of the hip socket, get a little longer through the leg, and then set the left leg on the floor. From here, begin to bend your elbows so your palms are now facing each other, your forearms are off the floor. And then let your thumbs trace the back of your skull as your fingertips press into each other. There's some space between the palms. Perhaps your thumbs start to trace down the back of your neck. If you're not yet feeling much of a stretch in your upper back, the sides of your upper back, or the tops of your shoulders, you might grab a couple of yoga blocks or a pillow. Make a little platform in front of your head so that you can elevate your elbows on that platform, but your head rests towards the floor. The higher the platform for your elbows, the more sensation you might feel in your shoulders and upper back. So play with it. Continue to have your elbows just shoulders width apart, not wider than that, as well as rotating your triceps towards the floor. So you're still broadening across the tops of your shoulders, across your shoulder blades. Can you feel your armpits slightly lift and hollow away from the ground as you draw your shoulder blades further down your back ribs? Tuning into the sound of your breath, can you really focus on the balance of taking in and letting go, of breathing in and breathing out? About 10 more cycles of breath here. We're here a little bit longer. We know that the inhalation is associated with enlivening and energizing, so it can be part of the yang of the yin yang, the solar energy of hatha. And then the exhalation is the letting go, the releasing, the cooling off, associated with the yin or the lunar energy of hatha. Feel how you're rebalancing those forces through your breathing. Let your eyes soften, whether they're open or closed, and feel the skin, muscles all around your eyes. Between your eyebrows, relax that. Behind your eyeballs, soften those. The corners of your eyes, release. About 3 last breaths here. And once you've let it all go, this last breath, begin to press your hands onto the ground, put the blocks aside. We're going to make a pillow out of our forearms, just crisscrossing them to stack, and rest your forehead on top of them. And then bending your knees, Lift your feet off the floor and begin to windshield wiper your shins. So you're dropping your shins to the same side, left and to the right. Breathe in to one side. Breathe out to the other side. Several times here, loosening up your hips and your lower back. So as your legs are generating the movement, can you allow your pelvis and lower spine to receive the movement? Let your pelvis be heavy. About 4 more breaths. And start to lift your chest to come into Sphinx pose. So placing your forearms in front of you parallel to each other, have your elbows about an inch in front of your shoulders. Palms are face down, fingers are spread. Feel the length of your legs as you point your toes back. Bring your attention to your thighs, and can you spiral the inseam of your thighs, your inner thighs, slightly towards the sky. Pinky toenails get a little heavier by doing that. And at the same time, can you draw your tailbone further back towards your inner heels? So inner thighs towards the sky, tailbone towards inner heels. And now as you press down with your forearms, can you extend your chest through your upper arms to feel your shoulder bones drawing back and down away from your neck? And as you're looking down, maybe just slightly past your thumbs, can you feel length in the back of your neck, relaxing the base of your skull, relaxing the tops of your shoulders? Can you feel the length in the front of your neck, open space at your throat? Bring your attention to the middle of your chest. Imagine breathing into there as you spread your collarbones like a widening smile from shoulder to shoulder. Then cross your left forearm on the floor just in front of your chest so that your chest stays lifted. Bend your right knee, backstroke your right arm, and with your right hand, catch hold of the inside of your right ankle or foot. So that's the big toe rather than the pinky toe side. And we want to keep that inner right shoulder opening. That's why. Now have your knees no wider apart than your hips distance. Ground your 2 frontal hip bones. Keep your chest facing forward. And gently bring your right heel slightly to the outside of your right hip as you soften the tops of your shoulders down. Feel into the front muscle of your right thigh, your quadricep, from your knee to your hip crease. Can you imagine lengthening that huge muscle already as you breathe in? And relaxing that muscle as you breathe out. About 9 more breaths. You might explore a variation in which you spin your right hand at the wrist so that your fingertips point at the front of your mat as you're pressing even deeper into the top of your right foot and toes. Again, find your balance of yin and yang. Notice your left shoulder here, not allowing it to feel collapsed into or congested. Can you gently press away the ground with your left elbow and forearm, and then send your left shoulder blade further down your back. Last 2 breaths. And gently release your right leg. Come back to both forearms in Sphinx. Softly shake your head no. Softly nod your head yes. All the way up slowly. All the way down slowly. Notice how exploring the range of motion of your neck feels right between your shoulder blades. You may or may not feel something there. And come back to neutral. Cross your right forearm in front of your chest. Bend your left knee. Backstroke your left arm and catch hold of the big toe side, the inside. With your knees no wider than hips width apart, ground your two frontal hip bones. Feel your chest entirely facing forward. Gently bring your left heel slightly to the outside of your left hip. Bring your mind's eye to your left quadricep from your left hip crease down to your left knee. Trace that space with your inhalation. Soften that muscle with your exhalation. About 9 more breaths here. You might experiment with how it feels to rotate your left hand at the wrist and point the fingertips forward, further deepening the stretch of your quadricep and the top of your foot. Notice how your jaw feels here as we stay a little longer. Let your tongue soften as you relax behind your ears, down to your chin. Notice how the weight is resting on your right arm. Can you allow your right shoulder to soften down, spring some weight off the ground to your right elbow and forearm so that it doesn't feel like you're collapsing entirely into your right arm joints. Last 2 breaths. And gently release. Softly pressing up into child's pose. Bring your feet together at the rear of your mat. Have your knees together or as wide apart as it allows your pelvis to sink down into your heels. Arms are reaching forward here. You could set a block under your forehead if you like. You could straddle a pillow between your thighs and belly, or under your belly if you like. And as your arms are extended forward, let's take a moment to reach a little more actively. So the elbows are off the floor as you straighten your arms and extend your fingertips further forward while drawing your hips further back. Really find that lengthening through both ends of your spine and through both sides of your torso. Let's take a few breaths, focusing on your spine. At the base of your spine, at your tailbone, direct your next inhalation and visualize the breath slowly climbing up each vertebra, opening a little more space between, rising up to your neck, to the top of your head. And then as you exhale, focus on softening in between each vertebra as you go down your spine, back to your tailbone. Again, from your tailbone, inhale, space up between each vertebra, up to the crown of your head. Exhaling from the top of your head, slowly down your spine, softening the muscles around the vertebrae, the erectus spinae. Try a few more cycles of breath, visualizing that if it works for you. Visualization for some can be helpful in establishing intent and internal action. Which can inspire external adjustments. Now, as we rest in child's pose for about a minute and a half longer, let your arms relax. Find what that means for you. It may be turning the palms to face up and just sinking the elbows bent down. It may mean wrapping the arms down by your thighs and turning your head to one side. It may mean putting a blanket under your belly so it doesn't feel like you're overarching your lower back. As we lie here just several breaths longer in child's pose and Balasana, I invite you to take a mental scan of your own body to survey what kind of energy is resting in certain parts. Perhaps there's something prominent that feels tight right now. It might be feeling a little heavy, or maybe it was overactive recently and you feel the effects of that sort of yang energy. But you might also tune into the parts that feel really relaxed or really loose and open, really surrendering. And the purpose is just awareness, not judgment, just awareness. Last 3 breaths here. Now, placing your hands alongside your knees, let your chin drop towards your chest. Taking your time with a few breaths, begin to firm your belly so you can roll your spine slowly upright, stacking each vertebra at a time and lifting your head last. And once you do lift your head, you may want to take a pillow or a block between your ankles to sit on if your knees are sensitive to bending deeply. Otherwise, you can be sitting on your calves. And we're just going to do some neck rolls, gently dropping your chin towards your chest. Inhaling as you circle your head to one side. Exhaling as you complete the circle. Or maybe you take more breaths than that. Just let it be slow and gentle. A few more circles in this direction. And when you finish this circle, let's switch directions. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more circle. Now dropping chin to chest. Lift your chin parallel to the ground and inhale, rotate your shoulder bones forward and up. Open the mouth as you exhale, roll the shoulders back and on. Just two more. Inhale, forward and up. Big sigh through the mouth. Ha. Last time. Ha. All right, so you'll want to grab pillows, possibly more than one, maybe a blanket, your block. We're going to trace the midline of your mat, place the pillow at the front half. We're setting up for a nice deep twist here. More release for the upper back, middle back. And then once you have your pillow set up, sit with your right hip flush against the rear edge of your pillow. So you're sitting at about the middle of your mat. Extend your two legs out towards your left wall. Keep your right leg there. And then extend your left leg back towards your rear wall. So now you have an L shape out of your legs. Now you can bend your knees, let it be relaxed, not rigid. And then place your two hands along the left and right sides of your pillow so that you're turning your chest to completely face the front of your mat. You might need to swivel the right hip back a little. You might need to shift the lower body a bit, bend the knees a little deeper perhaps, in order to turn your chest completely to face forward. That's the most important part here in the setup. And then notice if you might want to drape a blanket around the lower half of the pillow that's closer to your belly. Maybe place a block towards the furthest part of the pillow from your body so that your forehead can land on it. Take a deep breath, open the front body, lengthen the torso forward, and then exhale, start to drape your belly onto the pillow or blanket. Begin to lower down slowly. Forehead can rest on the block, or you could turn your left ear to rest on that block, giving your cervical spine a little bit of a stretch. Another option is to add thread the needle, where you further open across your upper back, the inner side of your shoulder blade, common area to get knots, energy blocks. So to do thread the needle, or to attempt it, flare your right elbow off the ground so that your right fingertips are towards the upper right corner of your mat. And then thread your left arm with the palm face up underneath your right bent elbow. And you may need to make that block that's under your left ear a little bit higher, adjust the height of it so that you can relax your shoulders down your back. So whatever variation of this restorative twist, find what helps you to balance your yin and yang so that you can be still. Even though it's a compression pose, make sure that you can still breathe deeply. Inhale through the nose. Just slowly out through the nose. We're going to be here for 3 minutes before we switch sides. So really giving yourself time to feel into what shifts, what may shift physically, energetically, mental, emotionally, as you stay a little longer in a pose like this. Really practicing letting go. Last few breaths here. Now trace this last breath to the end of the exhalation. And when you finish, begin to unwind from this pose very slowly. Give yourself a few breaths to unwind out of it, pressing your hands down and slowly lifting your head, your torso. Leave your props exactly where they are as you eventually turn to sit upright, facing away from the pillow. So you're extending your two legs towards the rear of your mat and placing your hands alongside your hips, and just either pointing or flexing your feet as you allow a few breaths to sit up tall in Dandasana, stick pose. Shoulders relaxed down, chest broad, heart lifted, belly gently drawing inward and lifting up, sitting bones pressing downward, back of your skull rising. Just 3 more breaths here. Also helping to let the blood flow through the digestive organs as we've sort of like wrung it up a bit in that compression pose. Great for stimulating digestive flow. Let's take a deep inhale to your nose, side out to your mouth. Ha. Now keep your right leg where it is. Slide your left leg over to your left side, which is actually the right wall. And then turn your torso to face the pillow so that you can frame it on the left and right side with your hands. Feel free to bend your knees, adjust your legs, and with your left hip flush against the back edge of the pillow, you might even need to swivel the left hip back a bit. so that you can completely turn your chest to face forward. Take a couple of breaths to lengthen the front of your torso so your sternum is reaching down the center line of your mat forward. And then taking your time, begin to drape your belly onto the pillow or blanket closest to you. No rush, getting into a variation of this posture that hopefully tries to balance what you did on the first side, unless you have something very different going on this side. So whether forehead is resting on maybe a block so that you can breathe, or right ear is resting on it. If you entered the added twist for your upper back, thread the needle, flare your left elbow up towards the sky, crawl your left fingertips towards the upper left corner of your mat, and then slide your right arm underneath your left bent elbow, palm face up. And then you might need to adjust the height of the block that's under the right side of your skull. Maybe it needs to be a little higher here so that your neck feels long and spacious. So feel into how deeply you need to get into this pose right now, and it might change within the next 3 minutes of being here. Setting the timer, deep breath. Feel into your last several breaths here. And allow a few breaths to ease out of this pose again, pressing the ground away, lifting your torso upright, sitting up tall with your legs in front of you for a few breaths. Maybe doing the opposite of flexing or pointing your toes as you did last time. So we're about to set up for Shavasana, and I invite you to choose a way to comfortably support your legs to be lifted as you lie on your back. Now, if you have a wall, that can be very simple. You could lie down with your glutes touching the wall, your back on the floor, your legs on the wall. If you have a piece of furniture like a couch or a bed, you could place your legs on that. I don't have either, so I'm going to make a makeshift little couch by creating some legs out of the blocks and then stacking the pillow across. And then there's my little couch. So make whatever props that you need to elevate your legs higher than your heart to encourage that stimulation of blood flow in reverse to your digestive organs, your pelvis, and towards your heart. Really wonderful. And then you can use a blanket to cover your body, feel nice and warm and cozy. Remember that you can stay longer in Shavasana even after this class. Maybe cover your eyes with something. And then really bring intention into placing your body in a balanced position. Balance in left and right side. So feel into both legs, both hips, both shoulders, both arms and hands, both sides of your neck. Perhaps gently move your skull. Really free up anything that might still be held in the neck or jaw. Perhaps fluttering your lips a couple of times. And then offer your whole spine spaciousness as you soften your belly, as you soften the muscles of your back, including your shoulders, as you soften your fingertips, and as you soften the soles of your feet. Take a slow inhalation. Imagine you could fill up your entire body with this one breath. Linger at the top of that inhalation. Opening your mouth, softly let it go. Feeling the bones of your body sink a little deeper with trust into the support of the earth below. Shavasana. if you'd like to join me to sit in meditation for our last 5 minutes together, let your body gently move into a simple stretch. Whether you draw your bent knees into your chest and turn over to one side or any other way, gradually lift your body into a comfortable seat for meditation. And I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes. like to end our practice with a quote from Eckhart Yoga. Asana teaches us to strengthen areas of weakness, shed light on places unlit, and relax areas of contraction. It encourages us to practice acceptance, allowing things to just be, and teaches us to cultivate balance in our life. Joining your palms to meet at your heart, lifting your heart center, and bowing in. Bringing the wisdom of your practice into where you go next. Let's close with one chant of Om. Take a deep breath. Om. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.